How are you going to grow?
And that's fully, that's fully achievable.
I think that a year for 10 is BS. I think you could do that in like 2 months.
Do you guys set goals? And when do you set your goals? Is this something you do all the time? Is it something you do annually?
Goals make the man or the woman, but without goals, you're nobody.
Without goals, you're nobody? That's extreme.
Yeah.
But what do you mean? So what kind of goals do you set? So are they macro? Are they micro? Help me out.
It just depends on the time and what it's relating to. I think I have both. I have the macro, which would be, become a billionaire in the next 4 weeks. And then I have the micro, which would be lose 5 pounds.
So let's talk about your investing. So, because you have the brokerage, which I'm sure you set goals for, but the investing is more personal, right? So
my goals are I like to acquire at least 2 buildings a year.
Okay.
So that's my goal. And if I don't hit that, I get antsy. But I don't specifically put it on a piece of paper. But with other goals, for let's say team leadership goals or sales goals, then I do put it down on a piece of paper. And, we've talked about getting things accomplished this year versus last year. I think part of getting the goals set is to review what you've accomplished so far in your career or in your past year if you don't have a career and you're looking to move forward, and figure out what those goals are. And you can have different areas, personal and work.
What about you?
I think a good time to start setting goals is, as corny as it sounds, a New Year's resolution, start of the new year. Think about it. You have some time between the holidays and the start of the year, especially in real estate. It's slow right now, right? There's not a lot of people. They're just starting to list their homes or just starting to make moves or, getting over all the eggnog or whatever they drank for Christmas. So right now is a great time. Because, look, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit slower than I am in March, April, May, June, the rest of the year. So right now is a great time to start setting my goals for the year. Some of my goals are on the residential or on the real estate side of it is more, I traditionally do, let's say, 2/3 on the buying side, 1/3 on the selling side. I'm trying to start focusing more on listings and trying to do things to acquire more listings as opposed to just working with buyers. Of course, I'm not going to give up that side of it, but I'm looking to grow my business and I'm looking to become a billionaire within the next 4 weeks, like Eric.
Together.
So we should be worth $500 million at that point. Okay.
I'll do that. $500 million
okay with
works.
that.
Do you want in on that?
I want in on that.
I'm okay with a third. Yeah.
Okay. So our goal is $1 billion in 4 weeks.
Okay. Let's do it.
Wow.
We need our viewers to help us.
How does the market affect that? So let's say, it's been somewhat of a crappy market in real estate. Let's just...
A tough market.
Okay.
Let's call it what it is. It's a tough market.
It's an elephant in the room. Let's just acknowledge the elephant. But how has that affected your goals? Have you decided that, no, you're not going to buy 2 buildings, you're only going to buy 1 building and then have your mind set for another one?
I think that you control the outcome of your goals regardless of the market. So if you want to, as Adam said, become a power listing agent, list 50 houses a year, there's 50 houses in the state of New Jersey specific that he could find. There's a way to do it. You just have to work harder to get there.
And you got to change. I have to change the way I've been going about things, right? So like I said, traditionally I do more on the buying side representing buyers. So all I have to do is I have to change my way of marketing, my way of going out there and finding deals, right? I just got to adapt. That's really what it's about, is I have to adapt to now work on getting more listings. The nice thing about a listing is you get a listing and then you get buyers from the listing. When you do an open house or somebody that looks at it, now you have more buyers. So it kind of just
have
snowballs.
You set that goal? So we're into the new year by 10-ish days. Is one of your goals? How many goals did you set? Not what are they? How many have you set? Or do you know?
I don't even have a number off the top of my head. I have individual goals that I'm trying to accomplish, but I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
Okay, so you have 5 to 10 goals. Yeah. You didn't write them down.
I did not, no.
Okay.
They're mental goals.
Okay, now you don't think that if you actually wrote those down...
100% it would be better.
Because for someone young like you probably change your goals over the years.
Yeah.
So are the goals that you have now, these 5 to 10 goals, the same goals that you had last year?
No.
Okay.
Definitely
so you
not.
have new goals. How are you keeping yourself on track to hit those goals? Do you plan on reviewing those goals? Are you talking to your wife about these goals? Like, who are you? What are you doing to
How are you
move
being
these
held
goals?
accountable?
Yeah,
How am
who's
I
holding
being-
you accountable? Do you want
Myself.
us to do it?
I'm holding myself accountable, right? I'm a sales guy. So I can sell one house for the year and make whatever it is and just call it quits. No, other than my wife, nobody's telling me to keep going out there and making money. I don't have a boss per se. I don't have anything like that. So I'm holding myself accountable. And being that sales mentality, for me, you know, even if I have a great year one year, all that means is I got to have a better year next year. So all that's my accountability is in the end making more money and selling more homes and doing, you know, bigger and better.
I think that having the goals and doing that gut check, right? It gives you the reassurance that you're actually moving forward, because some of these goals could be hard.
Yeah.
You know, for me, if I want the 2 buildings a year, we're not talking about just buying any building, because I could buy any building, right? It's 2 buildings that fit my specific criteria. So if I'm getting to the end of the year and nothing's happening, I get kind of itchy. Then I have to look back and say, well, what did you do to get there? What time did you put in for research to make this happen?
It's the quality.
So
yeah.
it's you know, having that goal and making sure that you check on it, and specifically in real estate, is super important.
So there are SMART goals. You guys have heard of SMART goals. They are specific, measurable, achievable, which I think is a big one, relevant, and time-bound.
You mean we're not becoming billionaires?
Exactly.
That's
the
not
billionaire
achievable in
thing
4 weeks?
is not achievable in 4
Okay.
weeks. And I think when you set
We could ask
goals,
for donations.
Yeah.
when
We
you
have a
set-
GoFundMe. Here's the link.
We do not.
We do not. I'm sorry.
When you set goals that are not achievable, you're totally setting yourself up for failure. But you're a big one to set goals that are like, woo.
True. So that's great that you brought up that point, right? So I like to buy stuff. I told you I had a goal of at least 2 buildings a year. When I set my goal, because I'm a visualist, as you all know, and I pick a building in my head and I focus on it, and I'm like, this is the building I'm going to buy, right? And I may pick a couple of those, and then eventually I'll get there. Like, I just got a building 2 days ago that I visualized 10 years ago. It took me 10 years to get there, but I finally got it. But when I visualize this stuff, I kind of keep in my head what are realistic opportunities. So I'm not visualizing the Empire State Building, because, you know, we have to wait 4 weeks for that to happen, because we're just not
We're
billionaires.
not billionaires
yet.
yet, of course.
So, you know, I'm visualizing stuff that's in my range, you know, $1 million to $6 million is, let's say, the purchase range that I'm interested in. So that's where I'm keeping my head. You know, like, if I see something like the Empire State Building, that wouldn't really be my goal. That would be more like a dream or like an aspiration or something to just tack on. Like, maybe one day we'll get here. I can think about it, but that's not going to be in my SMART goal, because I know that the chances of me acquiring that this year as a loan ever are so slim that if I put that as one of my goals, it's just going to kind of counteract the situation and make me depressed. So I wouldn't do it.
So let's start from the beginning of SMART. Okay. So for your goal, how specifically, what is specific about the goal that you set for this year?
So it's you know, so I don't have a set number of listings, but specifically what I want to do is I want to take marketing money that I've been spending traditionally to get more buyers and moving it over.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find exactly where the best place to put that marketing money is that will help me acquire more sellers. And that's, you know, talking with people in the PR world. I'm talking with people that handle social media management, things like that. So that's kind of my one of my specific goals is to, because it's going to take time, right? Like, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and have 10 listings. I would love it. I would also love to wake up tomorrow and be a billionaire. Once again, it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
So I know it's going to take time. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly moving money away from certain sources that acquire buyer leads and moving it towards different programs that help me acquire sellers looking to sell, or marketing to people that might be looking to sell at some point in the near future, so they remember who I am.
Now, you have a specific dollar amount that you're moving over, but you also could say, I'm going to increase my listings by X percent.
Correct.
Have you thought about doing that? Do you have sort of a number in your head, even if you haven't written it down?
I mean, I would like
You don't
to
have to tell everyone, but have you?
Oh no! So if I don't hit it, then everybody's going to know.
Yeah.
We'll know, Adam.
Thank you. I would like to have 10 listings throughout the year.
Okay.
10 listings. You know, I traditionally do, you know, more, like I said, more on the
Buyer, right.
on the buying side. So 10 listings, and then out of those 10 listings, every listing you get, especially on the residential side, you should get at least one buyer for another property.
Okay.
So that 10 listings really is 20 properties.
Okay. Now we have to look into this.
But in reality, he's been really kicking it as a buyer's rep. So this is a major change for him because he has been extremely successful in that arena. So for him saying 10, that's because he doesn't really have the time to spend there. So that's a big shift for him, which I think you'll accomplish easily.
I hope so.
I know
I'm
you
confident.
will.
I'm confident. You know, like
I know you
like I
will.
said, it's going to be a change, but I think that's the right direction to go. You know, I do a good enough amount of business on the buying side, but I really like listings. Kind of, it's just a different animal.
It's great for clients because you do rep so many buyers that now if you start to focus on some listings, like those things are just going to sell in seconds because you have all
So
these
many
buyers in
buyers.
your pool. But I do think diversification is key for business in general, and I think that's a great thing for you to realize for your own business. So
That's fully achievable. You know, going down the list, that's fully achievable for me to get 10 in a
And
year.
it is measurable.
It is measurable.
So it is specific. You're getting an A+ on this. It's specific. It's measurable. It's achievable. It's definitely relevant.
Yeah.
And you have this year. You have a time frame. Now, let's work on yours, though. Because you said...
Well, I think that a year for 10 is BS. I think you could do that in like 2 months. So don't pick on me. Let's focus on him more.
So are we
I
going to
think we should
lower his
challenge you.
time? Are we going to challenge him?
I
We
think
can.
a year is as your friend.
Okay.
I think that you could do that in a month, actually.
I have one
we can
person
come back
for
to
you.
this.
There you go. I'm listing a house. If anybody's looking for something, I'm listing a house within the next couple weeks or so.
See? Okay.
So that's two.
So that's two. Okay.
They're not signed yet.
I am signed.
Okay. For both of them?
No.
No, for one of them.
Okay.
I have a
Alright, cool.
contract. I've had the contract for a little while.
So you're already almost. Yeah, all right. So
I'm
there
just
you
waiting
go.
for the house
Okay.
to be, ready for photos.
I say first quarter 10.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Give
He
him
could totally
2
do it.
quarters.
No.
Okay, first quarter.
I guess
That's just me.
I guess I'm doing 10 in
it's
the
your
first quarter.
It's your goals.
Okay.
But I know you like a challenge.
Then I get to set goals for you.
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing.
Two buildings in the first quarter.
I don't think that the 2 buildings is good.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. You said every year you tell yourself you want to buy 2 buildings, but you're not growing. I think goals should always be about growth.
Oh, like it should be 3 buildings.
Yeah,
then
no,
4
you-
buildings.
yes.
then
Or
5
2 buildings
Yes,
and
right.
something.
It should definitely always be about growth. So how
I'm
are,
old already.
No.
Yeah.
How are you going to grow? Let's grow. Eric.
trying to shrink.
Grow with Eric.
I'm doing 2 buildings a year.
Let's do more. I
Right.
mean, it doesn't have to be buying. Let's add to that.
Okay. So I'm diversifying the type of, when I say 2 buildings, I'm also doing building now. As we know,
Okay.
I'm building buildings, right? So I could probably throw that into the mix. That's why I'm only doing 2 buildings a year, because I can't build and buy all the
Yes.
time, because I like to focus and I don't want to stretch myself too thin, because owning buildings and building buildings is only like 20% of what I do. So
Right.
I have to be
So I
careful.
think that is completely appropriate. So we're saying 2 buildings this year, but also the completion of your first ground up development.
And what about flips?
That's awesome.
I could do, we could do flips. I haven't done a flip this year yet. I did,
That's what I'm saying,
I
like,
did
you
2
can-
flips last year.
Okay.
Yeah. In
So
addition to buying
this year it's going to
2
be
buildings.
3.
3 flips.
3 flips.
3 flips,
In the first
2
quarter.
buildings,
Okay.
and the completion
You have to
of
help
your
me
first
find the
ground
properties.
up.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do them together.
You get the listing, and then we'll flip them together.
Okay.
There you go. Done.
I love that.
We got it.
Perfect. Does that
Now
work?
we've gotten specific. That is
Are you
measurable.
writing this shit down?
No, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's being filmed for posterity. It is achievable. I know it's achievable with you. It's definitely relevant, and we have the first year. Do you have a method to getting the listings? So, what besides just moving the marketing money over? What are your other methods?
It's really going to be just focusing on it doesn't have to be money, but different marketing techniques.
Okay.
Right now I buy a lot of leads from different sources, and buyers looking at a house, and I convert them to. Sometimes they convert automatically to a seller as well, because they're looking to buy, but they also need to sell, and it becomes a twofer in a way. But
Twofer.
I think that's a word.
It is.
It's an old word.
Is it?
Yeah, twofer. 2 for 1.
Yes, we all understand what 2 for means.
Is that in the dictionary?
I don't know.
But some of the other things is, like I mentioned, I've been talking to somebody that's going to help me do some PR,
Right.
some local, and we wrote something that hopefully should be published. It's a short thing, a short blurb in a major publication. So we're trying to get out there so that when people Google my name. But when people Google my name and they're like, oh, they're trying to figure out who to hire as their listing agent, I want them to be able to, I want to so it's SEO, search engine optimization, right? That's kind of the buzzword there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so if you look up my name, you can not only see my reviews and all that stuff, but yeah, exactly, fireworks off, and you're like, wow, this guy's amazing.
Right.
That's the end goal, is to get people to see that and be like, wow, he's been featured in here and here and there, and that I think is going to help. And like I said, this doesn't happen overnight. You have to, look at all the big listing agents in your individual towns or areas. Mm-hmm. They've been doing this for 30 years. Mm-hmm. It took a while for them to get to the point where they are the top producer in that town. It doesn't happen overnight.
But you were like one of the top producers in Bergen County, so you're like number one agent. So you've done it in a short amount of time.
It's really just about setting goals.
Setting goals.
You get the goals and you make steps, and you don't overwhelm yourself.
And it's honestly, I know it's as corny. It's like I like what I do. I enjoy what I do.
True.
Like it's not like I go show a house or I write up something and I'm negotiating it and I'm not enjoying it. Like I enjoy every step of the way.
You do.
And
He glows. He glows
so
during
much
the
fun.
process.
It's so much fun. I love like overcoming obstacles. Like I think of it as a problem solving. Like it's problem solving. That's really what it is. So I like figuring out a way to fit like a round peg in a square hole.
Eric.
And he keeps trying until he gets it.
I will. I'll take a hammer out and bang it in there.
He's so persistent. Eric, so let's talk about your methods. What are your methods to achieving these goals? Is it going to more networking events? Is it, driving for dollars? I don't know. What is it? What are your methods?
Where would I drive for those dollars? Because I think we could do that right now
to
after
get $1
the
billion.
show. Let's go drive for them.
Driving for dollars, where you drive around and you look for crappy homes that need to be flipped.
So networking is one of the most important things that you can do. Getting out there, meeting different people in your industry, meeting different people that have power, meeting different people that are prominent, that maybe aren't in your industry, and just kind of letting people know who you are and what you're doing. And I don't go out to network as like, hi, I'm the real estate guy. I just go out and network and I try to make friends with people. And by doing that brings me more business and brings me more opportunities. And I'm always paying attention and always listening. And those listening skills are what bring me my success and my stories. Listening skills, being honest, always putting other people's needs before mine. That's what gets me the deals. And what I buy and when I go after stuff, it's usually off market. It's usually things that I find. It's very rare.
So networking is so key.
It's extremely important. And that's how you have to do it. And you have to actually, like Adam was saying, how he's so into what he does. Like, I'm into what I do. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. I love helping them when someone asks me a question about real estate or about business. I'll spend an hour talking to somebody just for fun, just to try to give them my 30 years of chaos that I've learned how to be who I am, and like trying to impart that with people. It's fun for me, and that brings me opportunities. So I just need to get out there more. I don't get out enough, and I'm trying to increase my activity level with marketing or networking. So that's one of my goals this year.
So my goal, you guys asked me
We did.
about my goal. My goal isn't as lofty as buying 3 buildings now, or whatever we said. I'm pushing for that.
Three this quarter. It was this quarter.
This quarter. But you spoke about networking, and we all know that I'm very shy. Like in
we
one-on-ones.
don't really know that. You say you are.
I am.
Yeah, but we've never noticed that.
And
have you ever noticed her?
No.
Yeah.
No.
One of my
that's
goals
bullshit.
is growing the school through networking and through getting out there and speaking to more people. But I haven't made a SMART goal. I haven't been very specific about it. I haven't put measure to it. Inspire me to do this. Inspire me to take the goal of being able to go out there and speak to people.
You have 2 weeks.
And put it down on paper. When we did our whole episode on networking, that was last year. I said I wanted to network more, and I never did. This has to be a goal.
So the goal that I think you should have would be to get into the White House and go and get
attainable,
Get
achievable.
some kind
Sorry,
of real estate. Talk about real estate campaigns through the country. Like, one of our big pluses for both our schools and our brokerage and all the things that we're affiliated with is we care about people and we like to help people. We're not in it for the money. We are in it for the money, but that's not our first priority. We're never going to put money before someone's needs. And I would say at least 50% of real estate professionals care about the money first. I know you talk about experiences with other brokers out there that are just not, they don't care. They just want to get the deal done.
They don't care.
We're not like that. We want the long-term relationships.
Right.
Adam and I have been in this for a while, and I have clients that are dating back 20 years ago that won't talk to anyone but me because they know I care. So if we could change the world in that respect, and maybe that would be a goal to get people to let people know that we're out there to help them, just across the board in any type of real estate, and that's why we're better than everyone else, because we actually care about them.
So we want to grow the school, the
Yes.
Center for Real Estate Education, which I'm mainly.
And you do care about people, so
I do care about
I think that
people.
would be easy for you. It's just let people know that. Let people know that we're just not a regular place to learn, or we're like a big family, and when you join our family in some capacity or work with us, you're part of a bigger movement. Like, it's like the client first movement.
I like that client
I
first
don't know.
movement.
Client
but
first.
What can I do? Let's help me be specific.
Okay, but so who are you looking to network with? What
So
was your
I
goal?
don't know. Well, that's what we have to make a specific goal. So everyone has to have something specific. So maybe it's, I talk to 10,000 people, in
4 weeks.
not in 4 weeks, but over the
you're
next
doing it
year
here. You're
somehow.
talking to 10,000
right.
people here.
So maybe it's a number of people that I'm opening the school up to, the Center for Real Estate Education. Maybe it's the number of events I attend. Because if someone is out there and they are going into investing or they're a real estate agent, they need to be able to talk to people. Am I correct?
Yes, 100%.
They need to be able
Yes,
to network.
Yes.
And I'm sure there are people out there like me that are scared to do it.
Okay, I figured it out.
Okay, thank you.
You need to get into. Other than Facebook is the only Facebook groups. I don't know if there's other groups out there.
Right.
You need to get into 10 new internet-based groups like Facebook to let people know. These could be self-help, investor-related groups.
Why is it limited to internet though? Why not?
Because
why
it's
not?
easier. How are you going to do 10?
No, it doesn't have to be 10, but
You
maybe
forget I have 2 boys and a husband, so that takes up a lot of time, but go.
What about getting involved in? Okay, let's call
We
it
each
one.
have 2 kids and a wife, so we're
Yeah.
all on that same.
Yeah, no, it's different than being the wife, but we'll get into that in another episode.
We're not going to cross that bridge right now. I feel like this is a losing battle for us, Eric.
Probably.
What about joining one in-person networking group?
Okay, and
So
10
it could
internet
be
based.
it could be there's tons of them out there. There's all different types of networking groups, and then another 10 online groups that you get
Okay.
involved with.
So that is
So
that's
like a chamber of
specific.
commerce.
Like a chamber of commerce,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sure there's all different types of networking groups that you can join. It could be in your town, it could be in the county, it could be anywhere.
Or I think some of the
That's
counties have
attainable.
those economic development groups.
Yes.
Right. So there's stuff in our counties that have that. There's also some of the colleges
Yep.
have business incubator type programs. They have almost like SBA type programs. I think that would be a good avenue.
Okay, so that is specific. It is
Yeah.
measurable, right?
It's totally achievable.
It's totally achievable. It is relevant. It's very relevant to what we're doing and who we're helping. And it's over the next year, so it has a time frame.
Okay.
We're hoping that we don't see a shorter time frame there. You were eyeing us
I'm
for
like,
a
it's
second.
over
We
the
didn't-
next
did
year.
you say next year?
I don't know.
I say that's the first quarter.
First quarter?
Yeah.
So do we come back and we watch me? We do this?
Yeah,
We're all going to have to live up to this first quarter thing.
Oh man, it's gonna be
There's
fun.
no way that I'm going to be able to do it.
So
You have to go into it with positivity, okay, Eric?
you mentioned
I
internet.
need some good
based.
wholesalers. Do we know any good wholesalers? We need some good wholesalers out there.
They can contact us if they
There you
want to
go.
talk to you about wholesaling.
Well, that actually, you know what? We can do this through our Land Shark program, which we still haven't introduced yet. but we're going to be looking to help investors.
We are.
And we're going to be looking for properties to flip with investors out there. So that could be part of our way to
So
get
our
to the
land
goal.
shark is basically like a Shark Tank for real estate investors, right?
Yeah. For any level investor.
Right, any level. You could be starting out, you could be 18 years old and you have a good deal on a flip. So those people who come to us about Land Shark are going to need to have these attainable goals.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you're a judge, Adam.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
We talked about me getting involved in internet-based things, but let's talk about technology and how technology can really help you achieve your goals.
On the intrawebs.
Right. You know?
Wait, as opposed to the dark web?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't even know where you're going with that.
Let's talk a little bit about technology because I love automating anything. Anything that could be automated for me, I love to do. So what technology do you use to make sure that your goals are being achieved?
I mean, it's so. So one thing is I keep track of all my closings, my listings, everything that I'm working on. So that's one way to kind of make sure that it's measurable, that I can measure if I'm actually achieving my goals. But I mean, for me, like I was saying, with the marketing side of it, it's all internet. For the most part, it's all internet based, right? It's 90%, more than that, probably 99% is internet based. So that's where I'm looking on moving money around, is to different internet based options. So it's all online technology. So it sounds crazy, but like when you start searching on Google, for instance, and you start searching for a moving company, and then you search for a lender, and then you search for different things, there are websites that aggregate that data, and they say, okay, Noelle, there is a good chance that you're going to move this year. And then they send that to realtors to give me an idea. Hey, you're more likely to move than Eric is because you've been searching a lot of different keywords.
It's like AI or something.
Yeah, and that's the other thing right now is AI.
I use AI for almost
it's
everything.
amazing.
Now. Yeah,
you can write everything. It's so great to just help with everything. You want to come up with a marketing plan? Go on to Chat GPT. And you can just say, create a marketing plan and help me create an attainable marketing plan. And it will actually help you create an itemized list that you can keep track of. But the big thing for me on the real estate side is definitely I'm trying to increase my social media presence. I have, 500-600 followers, which isn't bad, but I'd like to double that. Triple that, that's really, so I've gotten a lot of.
Give us a goal. Give us a specific number, measurable.
1,000 by 6 months.
I was going to say 1,000 by the end of the year, but okay.
Yep, 1,000 by the first
It's only
quarter. Got it.
by the first quarter. There you go. It's by 15 minutes.
You could do it. Just do something viral.
There you go.
I hate when people tell you to do something viral. I was like,
Didn't
viral
your
is.
hold on, didn't your 12-year-old do a viral video?
He says it went viral because he got some 10,000 views or something.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
whatever.
Still pretty good.
Whatever.
10,000. That's great.
It was great. It was with our cat Andy when we had Andy, and he made a cat video. So
there you go. So get a cat.
Get a cat. Yeah. I think my wife's allergic to cats, so that might cause a problem.
Me
But
no, it's really, like I said, it's really just leveraging the internet and leveraging I mean, you're going to use the word technology, but it's just leveraging what resources are already out there to help you grow your business. Like I said, there's a ton of websites that aggregate this data, and I actually used it years ago. And I went back, and I kind of, to be honest, it kind of fell off, and I didn't really use it as much as I should have. But I went back, and I looked at how accurate they were. And there was a good chance. So if they said that there was a chance this house was going to sell, there was like a 5 to 10% chance that house actually sold within the next 2 years, which I think is pretty good. Because if I go to the average,
it's an edge.
Yeah, but because if I go, if I go down the street and I just go house to house, most of those houses maybe 1 out of 100, 1 out of a few hundred are going to actually sell. So this is going to increase your odds. So you're only marketing towards people that are more likely to sell. Maybe people that might be looking to downsize, that have a lot of equity, or people using those keywords online, things like that.
I think that's great that you were able to think back and we try to do that, where we actually reflect on what our goals were, and then we do them, and then we want to go back and check. So I think part of setting your goals is actually checking on your goals at the same time.
I agree. What about you? Now what about
technology for me?
CoStar,
Technology
LoopNet, all of those things that
So
actually.
technology for me is really, really important, and that's why I hire someone amazing.
Technology, can I borrow
do
your pen
it.
for a second? Technology for Eric.
is the van.
I believe in technology.
Okay.
I am very busy without technology, but I do
think
have
technology could improve your life by leaps and bounds.
probably, but that's why I surround myself with younger people who know about technology. So, for instance, in our building that we're doing, we have this amazing program that forecasts, what days we're working on the building, when it's happening. And my partner, who's 10, 11 years younger than me, has all that together. He's in that program all the time. He's updating it. He sees what's going on. He checks on our construction team.
He has
So
his
that's
finger to the
technology.
pulse,
He's got
right.
it. And that's all there helping him. So I do believe in technology. At some point, I'm working towards incorporating more of it. But I'd rather just have someone who works for me who did it. That would be my technology. So I need to hire someone to be like my right-hand tech
your
person.
guru.
So how do
Yeah.
you do that? Because you're right.
Pay them a
Sometimes
check every
Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more important to find the who rather than the how.
So
you
for
might
me,
not,
for
you
me,
might
it
know
could
the
take
how.
me 4 hours to figure out something, right?
Correct.
Even though I could figure it out because I'm not stupid and anything, just like you figure out everything.
I try.
I could figure it out too. But the brain power for me, I could go and do something else and make more money doing it. So that's why I try to limit my input there because I'd rather just go network and go talk
Because
to someone.
you're really good at networking, so you might
Right.
as well spend your time doing something that it's going to give you a much
Yeah.
better return, and then finding somebody else to do that stuff that you're not as good at, and that's totally fine.
But how do you decipher what things you need to outsource? So to set your goals, I mean, we always think of our goals
results. It's all results
as
based.
our goals, meaning I have to do it. How do you know when your goal needs
So never. So one of the mistakes I've made in life is you focus on the money of something, and if you read and if you talk to successful people, like I have this one mentor who's 86 years old, and he's like, Eric, I know a little bit about everything, but when it comes to the key points, he's like, I don't try to do my own accounting, I don't try to do my own lawyering, I go get the best guy or gal to do those things for me, and I focus on what I know. So focus on what you know. And as soon as you start to make that money, hire those resources, right? So I don't know tech. So rather than learn tech, I'm going to get people to do it for me and focus on bringing in the money so I can pay them better and we could be more successful and I can share the wealth of those people.
But you can also learn over time. So if you find somebody that's doing, I don't know, some type of marketing work for you, you can also figure out what works, what doesn't work, and let somebody else's expertise learn from them. So that at some point, maybe you can take it over and do it yourself.
You can, however, there's only 40 hours in a work week, right? Which all of us work all of us work double that. But you can't bog your mind down with everything. And for me, if I start worrying about the minutia of stuff, not that tech is minutia, but it's specific
No, but
details,
there are parts of
then
it.
I lose my creative edge and I lose my visual edge. And part of what's made me successful is being out there seeing all this stuff. And if I'm now focused, sitting at my desk worrying about email blasts or specific tech stuff, like I'm going to lose that.
Sure.
So you have to be careful.
So what about when you do start to falter? What happens when your goals, you start getting tied down in the minutia or it starts becoming challenging and you don't think you're going to make your goals? How do you get remotivated? Motivate me, please.
Money.
But he just said don't think about the money.
But that's a big part of it. As much as we're doing this because we love what we do, in the end of the day, we do make money off of it and we get paid. So when I get those 10 listings, of course, I'm trying to, I always try to do the right thing by everybody, right? I'm not trying to put anybody in a bad position, but they're going to list their house. They're going to hire somebody. So
Why
the
not
idea
be
is,
you?
why not me? Like, why am I better than somebody else that they might be looking
Well,
into?
you are better, but
But I have to prove it to them.
yes.
I have to show them that I'm a
I
better
will tell
resource
you,
for
Adam
what-
is better.
Thank you.
You're
I'll just bring Eric along with me every time.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of it is, especially on the sales side of things is, if I don't sell those 10 houses, every house is money out of my pocket.
Right? You have two kids to put through
But
college.
gosh.
when he's saying money,
They're just going to go to real estate school. We're not going to.
so he's right, money, right? But I don't believe in looking at the money. I look at it as freedom. So our slogan, freedom through real estate.
Completely.
It's all about getting to where you want to be, having the lower stress level, having the ability to get what you want, which you're paying through money usually. But I don't like to think about money. I think about, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It's going to help me get to these goals. And these goals are going to help me get the Maserati or get the, $10 million house or go and take my wife to Paris every weekend, whatever that is. That's what I focus on, the areas that I want to be in. And then I just work hard and then the money comes. I don't ever focus on the dollar. Like, don't calculate your commissions.
You want to focus on your quality.
The only time you have to focus on dollars is when you're buying or doing an investment property. You need to understand what you need to put into it, what you're paying for it, what you're going to get out, because you have to ascertain whether or not it's worth doing.
Sure.
Right? But so that's a specific time when you need to focus on the money. But when it comes to you as a person, I don't like focusing. Like, I don't want to focus on, I want $1 million in commissions this year. I wouldn't focus on that. I would focus on, I want to be able to work 40 hours a week this year, or I want to be able to buy my 2 kids, a trip to blah, blah, blah. I would focus on that. Now, obviously, you need the money to get there, but it's just, for me, it's just much more positive and energetic and enthusiastic, and it keeps you grounded in what's important, which is life and life experiences. Yes, money's important, but to me, like, why focus on that $1 million number when you can focus on, I know you want to buy like a ski mountain
ski
one
lodge,
day, so
right.
focus on your ski lodge.
I'd love
or
a whole
something.
mountain,
So,
but yeah.
So give me an example of when you had to push through the blahs of doing your goals. I mean, for me, every time February rolls around, I get completely unmotivated because I hate the outdoors. I'm looking forward to better weather. There's nothing exciting happening until my birthday in March. Like,
you have to create your own excitement.
but I get the blahs.
Okay.
How do you push through the blahs and stay with your goals, stay focused?
Tequila.
Yeah, I do that.
Tequila could help.
It's
but
actually bourbon for me.
That's
But
fine. That works
Yeah.
too.
I don't usually get the blahs, but what happens, like, sometimes your goals can be derailed, right? So let's say you have a partnership that you're relying on, and all of a sudden something happens and that partnership is no longer working, or it's not available because someone moves or
How do
dies.
you not
or
get discouraged?
Well, you do get discouraged, and it's a change, so you just have to reevaluate, and it's okay to readjust your goals and say, well, I wanted 10 listings this month, but because this happened,
Right.
that may not be achievable right now, so I'm going to cut that in half, and then I'm going to refocus next month. So it's okay to change, and it's okay to give yourself the ability to change, and it's okay to allow external factors account for those changes. It's just make sure that they're external factors and not internal. Like, if you like waking up today, you wanted to sleep later, right? So make sure that those goals stay there and that you only change with them when things are out of your control,
Okay.
right? So don't let your own BS change your goals. Let other people change. And I don't mean if someone tells you can't do it. That's not acceptable. I mean the physical or an
someone
environmental.
pulls out of a deal.
Something
Someone-
happens
right.
that screws up your plan.
Then you
That's
adapt.
out of your control. It's okay to adapt, readjust. Don't get discouraged. Just say, this is what happened here. And that's happened to me many times where I thought something was going to happen and it didn't happen. But that's why you have multiple goals, right? So I want to buy 2 properties. Like, what if one doesn't work? Okay, but I'll go after maybe 5. So I'll go after 5, and if all 5 work, great. But my goal is to have 2. So it just depends on what's going on.
So let's sort of recap here. Let's bring everyone back, okay? We're working on SMART goals. What was the S?
Specific.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay, so everyone out there needs to remember to really encapsulate these, because the specific and the measurable and the achievable seem to me like the biggest points. Like, you really need to.
Yes.
And we are using technology, or we're getting Eric to use technology.
Some people are using technology.
Or we're hiring people for
Yes,
Eric to
yes.
use technology.
Yes.
And we are overcoming our challenges.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. What are your last thoughts on goals?
You need them. Make them realistic and attainable. And first and foremost is actually make the goals. Write them down.
Make them.
Hang them on the wall. Hang them in your closet. Like, wherever you open that door in the morning, or next to your mirror where you brush your teeth. Just pull the goals up there. And it's okay to put a smiley face there, or write good morning on top, and just say, these are your goals. And don't be afraid to share them. If you don't share
Yes.
your goals, then it sometimes it's you're not really living it. So I share my goals. I talk to people about my goals, and
we've all shared them on
I get
this program.
feedback, and don't let other people's feedback screw up your mind. You know, I was talking to someone earlier today, and they were like, if I take on too many people's opinions, it really f's my mind up.
Right.
So it's okay to listen, right? It's just you need to be strong enough to make sure that you can persevere, and actually keep yourself focused. So if you can do that, then listen to everybody. I believe in listening to people because you never know what piece it's going to throw into you. But always set your goals and follow through with them.
I always imagine you, Eric, like cutting out of the magazine, like houses,
Never. That's
and
for
putting them on
girls.
the
I would
board.
never do
It's
that.
not for girls. It's for everyone.
I've been to his house. He has it all over the wall.
So
With the red lines, like if I get Adam to do this, then
Yes.
this one's
Like
like
a crime scene.
Final thoughts on goals.
And also, so we've really talked about short-term goals
Right.
for a quarter, 6 months, a year. There's going to be long-term goals. Like my long-term goal is like I was saying, yes, I want to market and become the realtor in a specific area, but that's not going to happen overnight. That's going to it could take 6 months, could take a year, could take 5 years to become that, the household name. So you can have longer goals. Like you can have, as long as they're still attainable, you can plan ahead and say, okay, in a year from now, and 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, this is where I want to be, because then you have a trajectory that you're trying to follow. And
I think that like goes back to, or we didn't really discuss it, but it goes to, why are you doing this? Is it financial freedom? Is it freedom of your time? Is it spending more time with your family? Like what's your motivation for everything?
So one thing I'd like to add is surround yourself with people that have goals, right? So the three of us at this table, we all have goals, and we've all been together for over 5 years, and we all care about each other, and we will do anything to help that other person succeed and fulfill their goals. So make sure you're with the right people.
Yeah.
And don't just jump. Loyalty is super important. Sharing, again, we share our goals with each other. We try to help each other. That network of close people is very important. So if that's something you don't have, put that on your goal list.
Yep. So we're going to make longer term goals, and we're going to share our goals. And on that note, you should really be sharing your goals in the comments below, because goals without deadlines, guess what? They're just dreams. Make them happen. Share them with us. Thanks for watching this episode. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And we'll see you next time.